Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my lovely co-host. We have
Brazil.
Hello. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Not the worst. I'm okay. And if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. We're so happy to have you on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to help us get to our goal faster, please subscribe right down below. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will feel that I have a little bit of clout enough to be able to approach some bigger names, we'll say, to come and chat with us about our favorite television shows. So at Reality Realness, we love reality TV and all the gossip that goes on with it. And so I would love to have reality TV stars that would come on and chat with us about the shows that we all love. So help us to 1,000, please. Share this with your friends, the whole shebang. It'd be awesome. So Brazil, I know we just watched episode, 19 of Big Brother. It was an eviction episode, but I did want to just maybe go back a little bit and talk about Tuesday's episode leading into tonight's episode. Is that something you don't mind doing?
It's a better episode than tonight, so I'm down.
Really? You hated that episode before.
Yeah, but I like Devon.
Absolutely. Well, it starts off that episode with basically how does this happen? Wait. So basically, Danny has nominated David and Kevin for eviction, and that was what basically happened at the end of Sunday's episode. Mm-hmm. And then on this episode, so David is kind of being sad about it, obviously. And then a loud voice comes over the speaker for them to go to the kitchen or whatever. And a power has been used. And so this power is the disruptor power. And the disruptor power means that a nominee was going to be taken off the block. Were you happy that David had this power and how things went on?
Yeah, overall, I mean, I'm not sure Kevin would have used it without asking Danny first, so.
Fair. Okay, hold on. We have another friend that's joining us. Who's that?
Yay! Hi, Jonathan.
Surprise. Hello.
Look at you looking like a model. What's happening?
I know. Ooh, he came in with that blue steel look.
Did you do some bronzer on your cheekbones or something? You look
called tinted SPF.
Nice.
It looks good. We basically just started talking about Tuesday night's episode, and then we're leading it into tonight's. If you remember what happened that episode.
Yeah, I'm fully caught up, so let's do it.
Yeah. So basically, the disruptor power has been used, and David is off the block. Now, he didn't even react, though, happy when it happened. Okay, you're a casting director, Jonathan. How did you feel about David's acting skills, we'll say, for the majority of this episode?
So he was doing well. And the crying at the table, I was like, okay, this is all right. I mean, it's out of character for him, so it's a little sus. But I was like, okay, that's fine. But then him going up to everybody. And, was it you? Did you see me? Was it you? That's what we call OTT. It's too much. It's over the top. And everyone was onto it seemingly, right? So, yeah, I was laying it on thick. And it's not going to win you any kind. Like Devon said, he should have just owned it and been like, yeah, and I'm saving myself. There was nothing to gain by lying about winning that,
Well, absolutely. And for David especially, he hasn't won anything, and he does want to prove himself. So I think it would have been a good reason for him to be like, hey man, work with me. I can win stuff. I can be a useful ally. Here, look what I'm able to do. I can contribute now. So I wish that he was using that in that way instead of being lying to everybody when everybody knows that you're lying, because there's no reason for anybody else to put themselves in jeopardy to take you off the block. It just makes zero sense.
Yeah, I love when Kevin's like, it wasn't me. I would have saved myself. It was... But
Oh,
I mean, it
sorry.
was just it's weird because like, why would you lie to every single person? You
Yeah.
know, like maybe just tell some people and then say you want to lie to others, but just like your plan is going in, I'm gonna lie to everybody. I don't get it.
Well, and also though, one thing I thought would have been really good though, if Danny were the one that had that power and she used it, I thought, I think her and Tyler were talking about it, being like, that would be a good thing to say on your final two speeches. Be like, I had the disruptor power. I did that to get, say, Tyler out or whatever, to make it look like someone, was getting someone else out. Or she gave her like the opportunity to put Tyler up on the block and whatever. So I think it could have been good maybe to keep it quiet if it were, say, Danny that did that, or maybe even someone from the committee that there was no chance that they were going to be backdoored. But pretty much, though, it had to have been David,
Yeah. And Danny was like, it was funny. She was like, why didn't I get that? But she really hates her power. But she won a HOH, so it actually can come into play. Like she can use it, right?
Absolutely. It's I mean, I think she was just being a little bit of an entitled brat with her reaction to power.
I agree, and I love Danny.
Oh yeah,
and I love that about her too. But it's like it doesn't. It's not that I love it about her, but it doesn't irk me or bother me in any way. But she does get like that, and I just think it's funny.
Well, it's like you won a power. Like you got a special power. It's not good enough your power that you won. Like to be
the first thing she said. The first thing she said, she's like, I should have had that power.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Danny. We have a new friend. Hi, Laundry Day. I think that's an ode to Christmas here. So, hi, Laundry Day. Nice to hang out with you. We're starting talking about Tuesday night's episode and then into tonight. And hopefully, Jonathan doesn't like spoilers. But
you can go ahead. Yeah.
I do want to know if somebody wins the head of household and we find out. I will share that when that happens. Just saying, okay. But I'll warn people in advance for sure. So what else happened here? Yeah, it's like basically there was a lot of confessionals about people being like, "You're not fooling me." Like they had the sad music going when David was walking around, like asking people, "Was it you? Was it you?" Like, and people like even when they were reacting with him, they didn't buy it. Like Cody's like. No man.
He's like, come here, bro. Like, what are you doing, David?
No, and David wasn't even picking up on that. Like he was still fully committed to it. So
there's two things I want to say. One that I thought was very bad call on him lying is that he also was lying to Day and Kevin. And so, they're supposed to be sort of his alliance or whatnot. Like, don't be lying to them as well, because they actually end up spending a lot of time strategizing and trying to understand who might have had this power, or why this power was used this way. And I think that they could have been using that to maybe make some friends or, get kind of connected with that big alliance or like talk to Danny more or whatever. Like, but they spent a really huge majority of their time trying to figure out who must have had this power and who used it. And so I thought they wasted a lot of time. And so he should have told them. Like he's just so dumb. It's annoying. Laundry D says, does anybody think that the people in the house are stupid? Why wouldn't Danny put up Cody against Tyler?
I was willing it. I was like, just go all in, Danny. Just go all in. Put Cody up.
I mean, Laundry Day. I mean, I think that if they were willing to make big moves, they would have probably kept Keister and Janelle in the house. They just wanted to be playing with their big alliance and just picking people off that are on the outskirts without having any sort of repercussion, without having to deal with anything. I think they're all playing a scared game. I think they want to win too badly, and they're not playing a very powerful game. What do you guys think, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very comfortable in the alliances that they've formed, and they see that, it's really dominated the game so far. So. But Danny is a little bit of a pot stirrer, and I know that Inkling's there to want to like change things up. And I mean, I think that part of me thinks that they should, but at the same time, it's still kind of early, but you may not get that opportunity again. So you really have to kind of weigh out your options there. I mean, if you turn, then you might lose so many people, and you're playing with people who just aren't really winning a whole lot. So I think it's too early. I wouldn't do it. just yet. I would be comfortable in my alliance for at least a few more weeks, at least.
I totally agree. It is too early for what she's involved in. I would make a big play if I was on the outskirts for sure, but the position that she's in right now, she can't really make that big of a play, I don't think. So she ends up having to like immediately put somebody up on the block, and she chose Tyler. So Brazil, what do you think about her decision to choose Tyler? Do you think that there's someone else that you think would have been a better person to put on the block, and reasons why?
I think it was very smart to put up Tyler because everyone in the house knows their issues that they've been having as well. So she can also deflect away from the committee. So I think that was her smartest choice. I think, well, we'll talk about, after, or like who ends up being next to him later, but.
Christmas does say something. So Danny starts to go do damage control with Christmas, and Christmas says, like, you put up an alliance member, and obviously Christmas is all about the team. She started losing some trust in Danny. So Jonathan, how do you think that because Danny put up Tyler, that do you think that she should lose some trust in her alliance? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I think that just Danny went about it the wrong way. I think she should have owned the position she was in, and she should have been like, look, this is what I need to do, or this is what I'm going to do, instead of just surprising them with it and then having that potential distrust from Christmas that people can, really kind of play into afterwards and revisit. But I think if she was just very open, like, look, this is what's going to happen. This is why I have to do it. I think it's a great move to, like you said, Brazil, take the heat off of the six of us or whatever, and really kind of, play with people's minds as far as like who's really working together. I think she could have just angled it a bit differently, and it would have been more successful. So, yeah.
I think the biggest problem though is that she had to do it on the spot. So she didn't.
Yeah, but she kind of. I mean, I think she kind of knew that it was. Davon was going to use it, and she.
No. This is disruptor power still.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I think she knew that there was the possibility. I mean, even when she was, and even if she was upstairs with, Nicole, it was, she was like, "Oh my God, what to do?" I'm like, "You're with your bestie there," so it's like you could come up with something quick And she had been talking about it previously, at least that's how it was edited. She'd been talking about it previously anyway, so she could have like just kind of got things rolling a little bit earlier just in case that kind of happened. But I mean, I still think she could have went about it a different way.
Actually, this is, I haven't talked to other of you about this. So Laundry Day says, sorry to get serious, but did Memphis use a racial slur against David on the live feeds? If he did, should he be eliminated from the game or given the climate? Did you guys see this?
I saw it, but it was bleeped out, so I didn't actually determine what was said myself. I heard that Cody kind of gave like an indication to like stop talking, and I also heard that there's another angle where Memphis was like caught himself or whatever. But I mean, I don't understand how something like that's even in your vocabulary. So for me, it's something that I'm
like, I can't even say that word in a song.
Yeah, it wouldn't even like,
Was it?
I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I'm just saying it's not even something that would ever come to mind for me. So it's really hard to understand how that slips out in other people. And I know everyone has different lives and are around different types of people, but we all deal with racism in one way or the other, and we all encounter it. And it's just, if you allow yourself to even have that thought process, then it comes out like that. So I mean, it's really telling if he did say it. And personally, I think it's like I would have a zero tolerance policy, and be like, you're on TV, see you later. I would kick him out.
So you haven't seen it yet, Brazil? Okay, I'll see if I can try to find it. I thought I sent it to somebody. I don't know who I sent it to.
Like, you know what? TMZ reported it, and they have a video if you look it up.
I know that Enzo and Cody were reenacting right after David did use his disruptor power, and that Memphis went behind David and like slapped him real hard on the shoulder.
Yeah, like just kind of hand down and kind of.
That to me too, like, why is that not considered? Like, I mean, I know it's not like him punching him in the face or something, but that paired with the racial slur is enough for.
Memphis seems to have some real issues with all of how he's been making fun of Ian and just making light of it and not having that awareness that you shouldn't be saying this, definitely shouldn't be saying it on TV even if you feel that way. But it's really disappointing because again, it's like not even something that I know people who would act or say those things. I don't. I really don't. So it's like it's shocking to me.
So shocking. So okay, I'll see if this will play well. Sorry if I have any Twitter feeds, but can you just pause Twitter feeds for a second? Is that possible? But just like the notifications come all the time.
I think you'd have to unsubscribe to all of them.
See, that's how. Okay, sorry guys, but I'm gonna see if I can let you at least hear.
Oh, it's gonna make me even more upset.
Sorry. Oh. It's hard to see when it's bleeped like that.
Yeah, they bleeped it, so it's like
it is find it from actual Twitter. But okay, it didn't fully look like it to me when I looked at it. I could see how I could pretend that's what it was, for sure. The other word that people are suggesting that it might have been was idiot, that he was saying. I couldn't fully tell, but I'm not 100% sold that that's what he said.
I feel like they've said idiot on the feeds, though, without bleeping it.
No, but they've only bleeped it because they think that he may have said the N-word.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that he may have actually said idiot.
I mean, I definitely think that it's up to them to clarify that and play that back and really determine kind of what was said. Because I mean, if he didn't say it, it's devastating to him. I'm sure. And if he did say it, something needs to be done about it. So. Yeah, it's up to the network to really kind of get that sorted. If you're going to have live feeds, then you have a responsibility. And, it's part of that.
I'm actually really wondering if like live feeds might stop happening moving forward, which I think for me, it would ruin the show for me, because that's actually how I prefer to get my Big Brother intake, is being able to make my own judgments about what I think is going on in the house without the producers deciding what they think is important for me to know about the game. And so if they really take it away, hi Rylan, I would actually be quite disappointed, and I don't know if I'd still be a Big Brother fan just being a casual without having the content. Brazil, what do you think? Because you're a Big Brother live feeder.
It's unfortunate because I think taking away live feeds kind of takes away the soul of the game, essentially. That's kind of where I get to base my decisions on whether or not I'm rooting for someone based on how they act with each other, like how they treat other people, if they're an actual gamer or not. Like, I hate sometimes how production just gives us their view of things, and it's so far from what's actually going on, and that makes me not trust it. So if they were to take the feeds away, I would automatically not trust the edit that they're giving us.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it would be pretty devastating if they did that. However, I think they do need to cast people, do a better job of casting people that are more aware,
and
more
maybe some repercussions for people using bad behavior, other than just being like, don't say mean things anymore. Like, I think I want to see them getting reprimanded, please. Like, I want to know why. We'll get into it a little bit later, but like they don't tell the full story all the time, and so like you're just like, well, why can't Danny do this? And she couldn't do something because of the fact that she was reprimanded about the way she's treating another house guest. You're going to say something, Jonathan?
Was I gonna say something, Rylan? How do you?
I don't know. So Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. So, did you see Cody comparing David using his power to OJ Simpson? I didn't see it, but I read about it. Either of you have any thoughts about this?
Oh, it's my first time hearing about that. So what did he? Do we know what he said exactly, or
He basically was saying that him lying about using the power. Wait, I can't. Do you remember Brazil?
Did you call me Nicole? Oh my God.
Nicole Francis.
You're welcome.
Shout out, no, Nicole Quasi. Shout out to my girl. Tyler's. Yeah, Cody brought it up, and then someone was like, or Tyler's like, yeah, he murdered me by making me go on the block. Like basically saying that like David murdered his game essentially. And they compared him to OJ Simpson. So there's that. Also,
great. Philly, do you want to come in? Hi, Phil.
Oh, yay!
I just don't see the comparison. Like, is it
That's
just completely like racially? Like that's
a black man killing a white person, an innocent white person. I don't know. Like, or maybe the fact that Tyler was like David's partner in the game, like he kept him safe this whole time. So it's kind of like
right.
I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Why are these people so vile with their comments? Like
that's what I mean. They got to do a better job, like casting, and these are all stars too.
It's hard to.
All-stars.
I'm sure it's very hard to like know who a person really is and really dive deep down into it. I mean, look at the past. They've definitely tried to get people who are on the up and up and have a clean kind of record and stuff, and that sometimes still slips through, or like a porn past may slip through, or some sort of DUI might slip through.
Who cares about the porn past?
And well, I mean, they were trying to cast without like having completely clean slates, and it just fell through the cracks. So like to determine how people kind of talk and just really think is so super hard. I don't know.
But I think that Chantel's right. They should have be reprimanded if they do.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the.
You want to see them brought into the diary room, being like, you can't.
Yeah,
I agree.
I've seen
it holds them accountable. It holds CBS accountable. It just has some sort of like justice to everything that is being said. That's so unfair.
The reason they won't ever do that is because then that will be criticized, like, oh, this isn't handled in the right way. It needed to be this or that. So removing it and making it like behind the curtain kind of a situation, you just have to like trust that they were dealt with accordingly, like how they should be. If they expose it, you'll be able to assess yourself and say like, hey, that wasn't, that was just a slap in the hand on the back of the hand, not, actually what it needs to be. So I doubt they'll ever do that, but
for sure. But I mean, like in the UK, when people are getting reprimanded, they show their diary room sessions. Like they'll be like, "Do you remember what you say to so and so? Do you remember how they made like this is how they made you feel? This is your first warning. We do not tolerate in the Big Brother house anybody speaking this way to any." You know what I mean? And like they go through what their levels of tolerance is and what the infraction was, and they pull up the clip of when it actually happened. And so the house guest is made aware of their actions, and then they could choose or not choose to follow suit.
Did they used to do that with like, remember when Justin held, what was it, Chris? What's her name, Krista?
I thought he was hot. Krista, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they like used to go in the diary room and like you would hear a little bit of like them starting to talk about it. But you're right. I have seen UK where they are more open about it, but I don't think it'll ever happen here.
I mean, at least if they put it in their contract too, it's like irrefutable.
I mean, I just think that, CBS is so scared of looking bad that they're just, in my opinion, looking worse by what they tolerate with the behavior of people that they have representing their show. So Phil says, our friend Phil says, if they take away the live feeds, I might fall for them, forcing me to like Nicole. Tonight was overkill. Nicole Angel edit. Oh my God. We haven't gotten to tonight's episode, Phil, but yes, they want us to like Nicole big time. And they want us to like Danny. They want us to like all these people that we who watch the live feeds, for the most part, know not to like because of us being able to see their actual actions and not the edit of, CBS and their producers. Phil, if you want to come and chat with us, you can let me know and I'll send you a linkers.
Come on, Phil.
Laundry Day, I am fine with David leaving just because of did you save me bullshit? You know what? Okay. It was a bad move. He's on the out. He's never played this game before.
Was it you? Did you save me?
Cody's like, come on, dude. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
My opinion. At this point, at least David is not making me mad. At least he's making me laugh a little bit.
Oh, it's funny for sure.
It's very funny.
And those tears, that's not easy for everyone. I mean, I try to get it out of people in the audition room, and it's not easy for everyone. So I was impressed.
He was sitting in the love room. He's like, come on, big tears. You can do this. Big tears. And I was cracking up. I was like, please get big tears. That'll be so epic.
His tactic is interesting. I wonder what his actual tactic is, because what he's saying out loud is like not how you really get tears to come. I wonder what he actually does. I mean, I'm pretty good. I can cry on command, but I do like there's specific things that I do. So I'm wondering what his technique is.
What's your technique?
Yeah.
Well, obviously think of something sad, or something that, moves you affectionately. But whenever I'm about to cry, I get like a twinge of like kind of not pain, but just like when you have a lemon and you get like their tannins kind of go right here. So when I'm about to cry, I get that feeling right here. So I emulate trying to get that feeling again. So right. I try to get that feeling, and then I could just start to feel it.
Yeah, for me, it's like there has to be some truth or honesty within the scene or the moment, and then you take it and just completely unblock all of your walls and allow that moment to take over. You know what I mean?
And then it becomes like cell memory. So I know when I make this face and I could do like this and I can feel that here, that tears come. And so then you automatically, I don't know, I can make it happen usually.
Noted, Chantele, noted.
I mean, I'm still going to be real. I'm only going to cry if I need to, if it's appropriate. I don't do frivolous tears, but if I need to, I can. Except for once. Okay, so I did this milk campaign where it was for the dairy farmers of Canada. And so it was just an actual billboard. And so I had to cry it was just a photo shoot for hours. I had to be bawling because it was crying over spilt milk, and mine was spilt ice cream. And so I'm this rich woman that's crying over my ice cream just spilled. And you can't cry over nothing for 5 hours. And so they actually did give me the minty stuff. And so I just was bawling and just making the face. But that's the only time I ever had to use those fake tears. Because it was hard. I'll show you guys the ad though. You'll find it funny. Yeah. You'd be like, yeah, you're cute. In Union Station, they had the large side of it, and then they had waterfalls actually where the tears where there was actual water. It was cool. It was cool. So yeah, Nicole gets out of the slop petard. They actually never showed Bailey last week doing her punishment.
500 laps. They didn't show one of them.
Oh yeah.
Which there was some funny moments I thought, and some good moments I felt between her and Davon, Bailey going on her tricycle, and Davon said something, she's like, fuck them or something. She was just riding her little tricycle, and Davon's laughing at Bailey being super angry but on a tricycle. It was cute. And apparently go ahead.
Their whole song they did for the last 10 laps, I think. It was pretty funny. So nice. But hey, casuals will never know that even happened.
Right? Exactly. I mean, it's maybe she didn't have to do it. Nope, she did it. Laundry Day says, I wish Danielle from season 2 would come back. Well, she did come back season 7 for the original Allstars. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe she was even asked. Do you know Brazil?
I saw her. I don't know if she was asked, but I saw no one believed when she said that she wasn't coming back, and everyone was like, "Yeah, okay." And then once it started, she was like, "I told all of you I wasn't coming back." So I'm not sure if she was actually asked or not, but I know people thought that she would be. I would have loved to see her back.
I would have loved it too. And, you know, that's what I think this season is missing. Some big targets with big game. It's becoming more apparent that these 6 people or 8 people, they kind of been working together they had to be pre-gaming. And, you know, having this solid alliance, huge alliance pre-game, it's kind of like, it's just so uninteresting. So just having more people that are willing to go in and break up big and make big power moves, I think would have been really beneficial. I think that obviously if even Josh, even if Paul was there, I can't believe that I'm actually saying that I might have preferred Paul to have been in this house than a couple of these people.
Do you want to know, like, kind of like Josh, we thought the same thing about Josh, but in Kaser and Janelle's Instagram live feed, they both said they wish that Josh was in there because they feel like Josh would have worked with them. And I fucking said that too.
I do agree.
Yeah. So I wish like someone like Josh, like, can you imagine if Josh, Janelle, and Kaser just were like running the house with Bailey, Davon, Kevin, David? Oh my God. I would have paid $10 a week to see that season.
You'd pay for your live feed. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I pay $5.99 CBS All Access, but yeah. But I mean, things could have been so different, but such is life.
Hi, Daryl. Nice to meet you. Thanks for chatting with us. Yes, you guys. I'll find a way to post that ad somewhere so you guys can see these waterfalls out of my face. They're so funny. Okay, so they get to the vote. Basically, was it right then? Like so fast.
The vote.
Veto. Never mind. I can't read my own handwriting.
You can't spell vote without veto.
It was. That's true. That's true. So Dave, Ian, and Enzo, Danny, Kevin, and Tyler were all the people that are going to be playing for this veto. What did you guys think of this veto on a whole?
I loved it. I thought it was different. I like when I see, you know, the difference between Big Brother and Survivor is Survivor has a lot of the same challenges and whatnot. And I understand there's only so much you can do there. But Big Brother really, you know, again, replays a lot of their challenges, but their challenges are very different. And this I thought was very new and kind of cool. I felt I was in like a video game or something, like weird. And yeah, it was, I mean, like, how do you practice that skill of like, I have the shakiest hands in the world. So, I mean, like, I would have been terrible at it. But, I mean, it's such a cool kind of, you know, new thing that I loved it.
Well, and I read that the only reason why they ended up doing the veto that they did was because of the poor air quality in California right now. So I think it was like a kind of audible play on that veto. And they just like kind of came up with it super fast, which is even more impressive to me because I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But they had to move it into the basement. Hey.
So you can probably tell that we're still talking about Tuesday night's episode. And, you know, you are a game creator. We're just talking about the veto and what you thought about this being a new veto. They haven't really done anything like this with these giant tweezers and micro brewed cans. Like, what'd you think?
I thought it was great. It was a fun new challenge. Yeah, I don't think they've done anything like that before. And I would suck at it. That would be awful.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't think I would actually suck at it, but you would get shaky and nervous in those type of situations, but I might be able to pull through. Like,
and the hard thing with that, because I've played semi recently in the last few months, challenges that require kind of some sturdiness to, you know, your hands or feet or whatever. And the longer the fatigue, the longer you go on, it just gets worse. So a challenge like that's really interesting because you do kind of need to take your time, but you know, you have kind of all your strength at the beginning because the longer you go on, the shakier you'll get, and it just falls apart. So
and don't take a deep breath because
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that Tyler thing, I felt awful. That was awful.
I would have been, oh man, like devastated if that were me. But one thing I noticed though that they, like when it fell, it seems like they actually did have to go in and get the fallen cans. Like they didn't have like a continuous stack of them. So I think that also is like makes it more difficult for like angling in and getting like these cans. Like I don't know if they had a mirror or something so they can see where they had fallen or whatever. But I love the challenge. I thought it was like the fact that they could watch them be doing it from downstairs or from wherever. I thought that was a great element to it too. It was just very enjoyable, a very likable challenge, I thought.
I love how the veto was this big and stayed that big throughout the whole time. The veto ceremony is like, here we go.
Poor Davon finally wins a veto, and it's so tiny.
I know, but I
give her the real ones.
I love
They should have given her the real one.
Say it again?
They should have given her a real one. That was like smaller than an earring. That was like
cute. I actually really like that it was so small because it's like in like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You know, they have I like
to the theme. Yeah.
I mean, did they give her a bigger one later or no?
No.
No. She just carried around the little one the whole time. Little bracelet, little veto bracelet.
I would have made it into an earring.
So Davon wins her first competition ever in 3 seasons that she's played Big Brother. Phil, you're nodding. How do you feel about this win?
I got very happy. I was like screaming happy. I was so like I knew beforehand because I watched the feeds, but it just felt good to see it. Like she deserves it, and I'm still. I know not everybody thinks she's gonna win, but I love Day. I want her to win so bad. So
it would be.
It was great.
Way for this season to end if she was able to find herself at least to the final 2. I think that we would all be really like we'd be like, okay, we went through a lot, but at least we have Day making it to the end by this shitty whole game that we had to experience. You're nodding as well, Jonathan.
I would love. I think Davon's my kind of number one pick that I would love to see kind of take it all. So, I mean, she definitely has a lot of people rooting her on from home. So,
Brazil, you team Davon?
Duh.
I know.
AFP at the least.
Okay, so that's another question. So some people have been saying, 100% we're giving Janelle America's favorite player. And then there's another team of people being like, we want it to go to Davon, obviously for her effort, seeing her mom, et cetera, have a person of color win this. I don't know if any person of color has won the America's favorite player, if I can think of any.
I don't know.
Did Marcellus? Did it exist yet?
Oh, I don't remember that. I
don't think it existed at that point.
So anyways, what do you think, Brazil? Like, do you think that Janelle should get that title, or do you think it should go to Davon? Or if they split the vote, it might go and slipping by to somebody else like Tyler or something. What do you think?
I think it should go to Davon. I think everyone knows that Janelle is actually America's favorite player, like of all time. And I don't think that really needs affirmation anymore. So I think given this season, Davon is the perfect pick. And I will for Davon.
Did Janelle win in Big Brother 14? Did she win it in Big Brother 14?
I don't remember. Can someone find the stat? Can you find the stat, Brazil? Brazil, my stat finder. Thank you. I don't remember. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, who else would have got it? Maybe Ian would have got it, but he won, so maybe not. Danielle Murphy, no. Shane, I don't think so. No. The guy Will with the long hair, I don't think so. Brittany.
Frank.
Oh, Frank won it.
Frank, yeah.
Okay. I can see Frank winning it. He was the underdog for a long time, and so I could see him snagging that for sure. Did Brittany win on season 10?
She better have.
Is there a whole list? Actually, I would love to know the whole list if it's actually up like that. So one of the conversations that happened after the veto win, I thought was interesting, was like Day and Danny. And this was, I've been pretty critical of Davon's game because I feel like she does get a lot of really good information that I don't personally think that she uses sometimes well. But I did feel that, when she was talking about the possibility of using it with Kevin and her saying, like, I don't have a pact with Kevin, but I have a friendship with Kevin. And I thought that was a good way for her to be able to preface this, that it's like, it's not like we have a final two, which they do, but it's like, you know, we have a really good friendship, and like, I don't want to not use this on my friend. And so I liked her tactic there. Do either of you guys have thoughts on?
I mean, I just love that Devon kind of does what she wants, and I don't think that it's necessarily always the best move, but it's just, I mean, that's why she's such a favorite player of mine, because she kind of stands in her own and does what's right instead of going along with what everyone else wants her to do. I would rather see Devon do that and lose than go with everyone else and win at the end of the day. I mean, ideally both, but it's, you know, I like who she is and what she does, and I really loved the fact that, you know, I thought her speech was great.
I agree. And like me personally, like I've played a few of these games. If I had a veto and my ally or friend is on the block, I'm sorry, it's always going to be in my best interest to use that veto. I don't think that I'd be worried about my positioning in the game and like making the head of household angry. Like it would have just been like a definitive, like, I'm sorry, I'm using it. And that's what my conversation would have been to Danny. But I do like how she kind of was being a little bit like, you know, this is why. You know, how would you have handled the situation, Phil?
I would have done the same thing as Devon would have done. I mean, I think that the show, without the feeds, the shows are sort of still making it seem like the people are in the dark about alliances. I don't think that that's really the case. I think Ian, unfortunately, just wasn't really with Devon in any way. And he sort of appeared to be more with like Nicole in that. So why not use it? Kevin and her have been talking since the beginning of the game, not always on the same page, but that's somebody that's talking to Devon, because there's really nobody that's like with her. So,
and one thing that kind of pissed me off, it's that everybody else is allowed to not want their ally to be on the block except for Devon. Like, you know, like you are allowed to be like, no, I don't want my ride or dies on the block. I want to take them off because I want a power that isn't allowing me to do that. And so they're all just kind of giving her a lot of flack that, you know, like, why would she do that? That's so bad for her game. Like, which, okay, fine. Maybe you're going to use this now the weeks going forward as being like the downfall of her game, but you're coming for her anyways. He's still on the outside. Her, David, and Kevin are going to be the next three voted out in most scenarios. And so it's kind of like, oh, she's actually just not listening to what we want her to do. So she's going to have to pay the price for that, even though she's going to pay the price no matter what. Brazil, you have an opinion? What do you think about this?
Yeah, no matter what, they're going to come for her. So for her to just like lay down and like let them roll all over her, and I think she knew that wouldn't have been attractive to America either. And I think she knew deep down, like, yeah, she may have told Danny she wasn't going to use it in the moment because Danny did spare her and she hadn't won the veto yet. And I would have said the same thing. So call that a lie, whatever you want to call it. But I would have said the exact same thing, because had the veto venues, I wouldn't have wanted to be that replacement nominee. So I think the way she played it, I would have done exactly the same. And I don't blame her for it. And I think she was smart to do it. And I think Danny came off as very transparent. So
I don't know if they showed.
There was a number. Oh, sorry. There was a number of them that were really bad mouthing Day and saying like, this is really bad for her to do. She's not a good player if she does this. And it's just like Danny had 6 allies at this time, because Enzo really is an ally of hers as well, even though he's not in that 6. She has 1 and wants to keep 1 safe, like, and they're like freaking out, because I don't even know if Day and David are really, really together, like, still. So, but Danny's getting upset about one person saying, I want to just keep 1 person safe when she's got 6 is like mind blowing.
Well, I don't remember if they showed this on the episode or not, but they were all like not wanting to lie to Devon and say that they were going to keep Kevin, just don't use the veto. And then, you know, they were going to obviously keep Tyler like they want to. And Devon said to Danny, she's like, I just don't want to look stupid. I don't want the people in the audience to see me with the veto with my friend on the block and not use it and then everybody else be lying to me and send my friend home. She's like, I just don't want to look stupid. And that's what she kept on also saying to Danny about like why she has to use this veto. And like we are saying that we're like, if she doesn't use this veto, in my like, you know what I mean? Like 100%. I was
Jonathan, can you imagine if she didn't use the veto though?
Oh, I know. If she didn't, like, bad news. Oh, it was Rylan that was barking, not.
Oh, Rylan's like barking at the door. So excuse me for a moment.
Okay. Well.
I feel you, Jonathan. I totally understand your pain.
I thought it was Nala.
Nala doesn't sound like that.
No, I know. I just heard them like. I just assumed it was Nala.
I know. I know she's sleeping. Nala.
So Danny's talking to Christmas, and they're talking about having to put up either Ian or Enzo. You know, like, I mean, it's true. Like, she doesn't really have that many options of people to put up. But do you think it would have been better for her to put up Enzo?
I think she should have gone after Tyler and put up Enzo.
Yeah, because she already started with, like, I'm going to backdoor Tyler, basically. So she put him up as the pawn, but she might as well have just taken that shot.
Enzo is the ultimate pawn.
Right?
Not Ian.
Phil, do you think she made the right decision between Ian and Enzo?
No. Why not take out a bigger target? Like, what are you doing? I hope Tyler takes her out. I hope Tyler takes her out for that reason.
I do. I actually do. Obviously, like that would be.
I've been hoping that, but I hope
getting over that one.
Yeah, I think that's well deserved. That will be. Oh man, if she goes into jury taken out by Tyler because she didn't take the shot when she had the chance.
What do you think, Phil?
I think that I'm hopeful that now happens, but I think for this time, I think that she really had no choice. She had to put Ian up because Enzo and her at least have some sort of communication. Danny and Ian, this whole story about how she's upset that she had to put Ian up, that is just, again, for the cameras based on what happened last week. Ian was never with her, so.
100%. And so if for anybody that's watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, there's been a few instances where I believe the culprits have been Memphis. Did Cody actually say anything or no?
He was laughing along with them.
Cody, Danny, and Nicole were all, was Enzo there as well or no?
Christmas.
It
was Danny, Cody, Nicole, Christmas, and Memphis all in the room, and then Enzo on the side again. So Enzo wasn't in the room, but he made fun of him like outside of that situation.
So definitely there's at least one scenario where Memphis was imitating his fear of Ian and kind of making fun, and they're all laughing about his autism, et cetera, et cetera. And so it seems as though Nicole and Danny got a speaking to of some sort in the diary room. And since after that, she was really hesitant about putting Ian on the block at all. She really didn't want to make that her like a replacement nominee. Like he wasn't really on her radar that way. And I personally think that she was so hesitant about putting Ian up is because she wanted to save a little bit of face with the audience and obviously with production. Jonathan, what do you think about this whole bit? You knew about that stuff, right?
Say that again.
You knew about that stuff with like the making fun of Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I did watch the clips, a couple clips. I don't watch the live feed, so it's hard to see. But the couple clips that I did watch online was them more just laughing along to it, and I didn't see them. I saw Memphis making fun of how he walks, and then Danny talking about how it really bothers her to see it makes her comfortable when he's moving back and forth with her. I mean, again, those aren't great comments by any means, and they're like, you have to know you're on TV too, and I don't know what's wrong with these people that they just can't keep these thoughts to themselves, if that's why they need to feel that they need to express that. But again, like I said earlier, with those other comments with Memphis's language, it's just I don't ever think that way. So it's weird to me that, you know, it's just weird to me that those are the thoughts that go through their heads. I mean, I don't know. It's odd. So I hope that they're moments and not like, you know,
Character.
it's not like, well, I just hope it's not kind of, it's like bad moments of who they are and not actually who they are like all the time and what they actually think, you know, constantly, and they're not having larger conversations about this. And I mean, yeah, but it's unfortunate that they haven't reached out to Ian and really tried to understand it or speak to him about it, because you can say that kind of stuff if that's how you feel, like, you know, hey, I noticed you do such and such, and, you know, do you understand that? Do you want to explain that to me? Or like, you know, there's different ways to understanding things that you're uncomfortable with, rather than just going around and telling other people behind their backs. So I don't know. And they've all done this before, so they all know what happens. They say these terrible things, and it's all over the internet. So
And then
I just don't know why they're not making smarter decisions.
Well, especially with Nicole being an influencer, and then as we'll see in the next episode, her claiming for Ian to be her best friend and crying. It's kind of like if somebody was talking about my best friend the way that they were speaking about Ian, I would not be sitting there laughing with them. I would definitely be saying, like, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
I can't even be around you right now. Like, do you realize how you are talking about another human being on national television? Like, this is inexcusable, and I would probably leave the room.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't allow these people. I know they're playing in a game, and that sometimes people's true, you know, the way that they want to react to a situation, it may cause them to ruin their game. But I think in those kind of situations like this, where it's very blatant and obvious what they're doing and how wrong it actually is, I think that people would understand that, like, hey, like, this is not cool. And I don't think they would use it as like, ooh, she's not part of like my alliance anymore. Like,
but I think that's when it does matter to say something, when something is on the line, not when it's easy. It's when it's difficult. You need to stand up in that and say that it's not right. And it is really disappointing to see that they, you know, whether they're aware of it or not, they didn't say anything and stop it, and they partook in those activities even just by standing there and just keeping their mouth shut. That's being a part of it. So yeah, and I understand that they might have been nervous about risking their position in the game or with certain people, but again, it's like I said, those are the moments that count in life, when it's not easy, when it's difficult to say for whatever reason, but it has to be said, and it's because it's the right thing to do. And, you know, is the game or that money really worth it when you're being a terrible person? No, it's not. It's not.
100%. And like with Nicole crying, it's like Nicole feels that her tears about him being on the block is going to basically erase the fact that she didn't stand up for him when it counts. And so it was really bothersome to me. It started from that, you know, the fact that Danny was potentially putting him up. She was really upset, and she was trying to get that to not happen, trying to get Dave to not use the veto, so that would not be an option. And then cut to, thank goodness, Davon does decide to use this veto and takes Kevin off the block, and Danny decides to put the ultimate pawn, as she called Ian, up on the block next to Tyler. What do you guys think about the ultimate pawn excuse that Danny had used for this nomination? Bill?
Well, it seemed like actually, I mean, I don't know if I would have used it, but it actually seems like it kind of worked. When you saw Ian in today's episode, he kind of fell for it, I think. I think he feels like that was a true story. So in a little way, at least Danny got away with it.
Yeah, I was
a little way.
And then like, Nicole, like as if she's like some widow, like, you know, putting her glasses on and cry, like just having tears falling down her face because Ian's going up on the block. I was just like, it was just so phony. And you know, maybe she is upset that he's up on the block. Maybe that's true. But I would like to see you have this much passion for being kind to him and standing up for him in moments where other people are attacking him. Like, Danny putting him up on the block is not as bad as what they, in my opinion, of what they were saying about him and how they were treating him as a human being.
This wasn't the right week for them to like put Nicole in a good edit after what happened on the feeds. Like what we saw, like you just don't show that part, because like if you don't want her to look awful, at least don't make her look amazing. Like, because if you're just a regular watcher of the show and not the feeds, you're getting the vibe on that oh, she really wants to protect Ian, and that's not the case.
She just wants
at all.
That made that I don't know how many times did I yell at Chantele when I was watching the episode. Like I was like, boo! And I was just so pissed the whole time because it's so fake. And that's
absolutely.
Again, if they take away the live feeds, this is going to be the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is not a thing. Like, taking away the live feeds is not an actuality.
No, I know, but just like an example.
I'm just worried that it might happen just because they're getting so much heat from people being able to see stuff that's been going on. One of my favorite, YouTube channels, it's called Scenarios 2, which was perfect for when being able to just catch up on clips on YouTube if I didn't have a chance to watch the feeds all day long. And when all that stuff with Tyler wanting to quit for the cause and all that stuff was happening, they just removed all those, it just closed down his entire channel. And so I'm wondering if they did that because they didn't want us to have as much information so we could make our own judgment as to what we think that is going on the live feeds. And they have been cutting the feeds a lot more than they have in previous seasons. Like, they've always been quite cut happy in Canada, but like in the States, they used to let us see a lot. And it seems as though they are being someone says Ian's name and they cut the feed. Someone said, like, anything that they're cutting the feeds now, and we're not actually being able to fully see what is going on. And so that's why I'm just speculating that, what might be on the table next is to remove the feeds completely.
Because I think it's questioning the integrity of the network by them not airing what we're seeing. So I don't know. Stop it. Sorry. It's going to depend on whether or not. Sorry, she gets needy. It's been a long day. It's going to depend on whether or not like the casuals outnumber like the feeders. So I think if they have a decent audience without the live feeders, then that's potentially a route that they would go. I don't know.
So I was obviously really happy that Day won the veto and that she used it on Kevin. But how do you guys think? Do you think it will actually ruin her position in the House? Because before the veto,
we're all three of us. Yeah.
Okay, before the veto, though, it did seem as though like Danny might not put her up. Tyler, maybe. I don't know. It seems like she just was in a little bit of a better position before that veto.
I think that Danny's just saving face by not putting her up. I think Danny really wanted to. Like, that would have been the easy route for Danny. I just think that given everything that happened last week with Bailey and Day, given her being talked to about Ian, like, imagine if she would have put up Davon this week. They would have never been allowed to go outside, ever. There would have been banner on banner on banner on wall yeller on wall yeller. Like, I think Danny was very strategic in not putting up Davon, and I think Davon saw right through it. I think she read that very well. Sorry, what?
I was saying, what about with Danny saying like, I think that she made a big mistake. Like, Kevin is not as great in competitions as I am. And, now she's like basically made her mad, and it's worse for her to be mad than Kevin to be mad.
Ooh, scary.
It pissed me off. She said that. Like, I was just
pissed me off too. Like, she's talking a big game. She's going to do whatever Cody says. She is doing whatever Cody says. So, she won the wall comp, but Kevin also won that like veto. That was also endurance. So, and Kevin didn't do poorly on the wall comp. He wasn't a have-not, so he did well enough to get through at least like the first half.
I couldn't believe in that competition I was rooting for Kevin to win that.
Oh my god! Once Ian was gone, I was like Kevin. Once Kevin was gone, I was like Tyler. Once Tyler was gone, I was like fuck it. Whichever one of you is up there is going to be the same story, so forget it.
Right? So we're probably going to talk a bit about Nicole and how annoying she was this episode, but she's like talking about how she's forced to vote her best friend out of the house. Like,
It's not your best friend.
She got a lesson on fake tears, I think, because, like, when did they become best friends? And you know what? Another thing, too, is if you were his best friend and you made that 4-prime alliance, you would have at least told him that you had another alliance going on. You before your exit messages.
This is probably why she has 19 bridesmaids. She uses the term best friend very loosely.
Jonathan, would you be best friends with Nicole Franzel? Would you go to her wedding? Would you pay $3,000 to go to her wedding?
Okay, this is controversial in this room, but I don't watch the live feeds, and what is presented to me, I don't hate her as much as the rest of you. I never said I liked her.
Oh,
I
God.
would not go to her
See
wedding,
what the edit does? See what the edit does? Phil was right.
I would not go to her wedding because I'm afraid of flying and I don't like weddings. But she is starting to really bother me this season, than more so than previous seasons. I really find that kind of working yourself up into this tizzy, trying to, get yourself kind of like just the whininess. I just feel like it's turned up this season, and it's like, does she really act like this? And
that's
like
she is.
Like when she's home, like in her normal day-to-day life, like it's so.
She lives in a town with 3 other people, so she can probably act like that, and no one would ever realize it. She only
Is
lives.
she a single child?
Well, she had to be weaned off of her mom's cuddles
at 16 years old.
I mean, do what you want, but like you need to be weaned off your mother's.
Yeah, it's
an adult.
I mean,
no wonder she's crying.
I'm fascinated. She fascinates me as to that kind of behavior and how it gets her places in life. But I mean, I don't.
That's a couple of hand jobs.
She's the only child.
Yeah, I called it. She's the only child. It's very only child. I'll just put that there. It's very only child. Yeah. So I mean that. Okay. But I get what you're saying, and I'm like, I totally get it, and I'm with you. 85% of the way, and I'd probably be there 110% of the way if I watched the live feed. So,
aren't you at least mad at her for the fact that she, like, being in a relationship with her Victor all of a sudden is just not hot anymore? Like, Victor used to be like a cutie, Victor, like caliente, CCC, so cute, and then he starts dating Nicole, and all of a sudden, like, he's like hitting
top.
he's just like sitting there. Yeah, it's that's weird too, and I don't even know how that happened. So really interesting.
And she also says that
it took her a couple of tries and a couple of guys to get to Victor.
Exactly.
And to the win.
Absolutely.
And to the win.
You know what they should have? They should have Janelle commenting. You know what? Don't bring her in as a player anymore because she gets voted out right away, even though I'd love her to play every season. But just have her commenting on the episodes. I would watch. You know what, Janelle? Just start your own channel. I would watch that.
Well,
just talking crap about everybody.
We should just be reading Janelle's tweets.
Yeah, her tweets are pretty good.
Like in general, like she said some petty things that, like, I'm here for any time Janelle wants to be petty about Nicole Franzel. I'm sorry, Nicole Franzel lovers, but like, it's just petty about her. It's my favorite thing. So Ian's the ultimate pawn here, and I feel for him because he thought that he has his alliance, and this alliance just put him up. Now he seems to still be somewhat optimist, but then he starts talking to more people within the house that he's going to be the one going. Phil, how do you think he handled himself being on the block this week?
I think he was okay. I actually felt like he was making a bad move with Danny when he got to the point when he got to telling Danny, and he sort of was threatening Danny with votes. I don't know if that was the right way to go about it because Danny reacts to that stuff negatively, and I'm sure they didn't show it, but when she left the HOH room, she was on the hunt for somebody to talk to at that point.
You'll have the votes, Ian. Slam.
Yeah, slam. She left her HOH room. Like,
Yeah.
Was that the same
yeah,
time?
I don't know.
Was that the same time when she started hugging Ian and comforting him?
Yeah,
yeah, same combo.
Yeah.
Well, I was pissed at that part. I think I was yelling I was streaming it for Brazil to be able to watch it Eastern time. And so like we're both just like, shut up, Danny. You're a liar. You're a liar. Like, why are you doing that? Stop hugging him. You don't want to hug him and he doesn't want you touching him. It's awkward. Stop it. Like, we were just pretty vocal with this episode because I feel like everybody's being phony, but then also being like high and mighty and like I'm such a good person, but like actually they're not. They've been lying about this whole thing. It's just so fake. It's so annoying. Do you agree, Jonathan?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. I mean,
No?
like, yeah, it's just so interesting. I just want, you know what I want? I want something to completely change. I haven't watched today's episode, so I don't know what happens.
Oh, you haven't?
Sorry.
Tell me all about it when we get there.
We're here.
I can't wait.
We're talking about the episode
We're here. We're here.
No, but like, I want to hear more.
Okay.
Okay, that's why you did. I'm like, why don't you have an opinion about that? Right? That makes sense.
Hearing it for the first time. So.
You've not seen that. Well, anyway, so then just to catch you up is that basically she's telling him like, oh, you have the boats, you're the ultimate pawn, you're gonna stay, I'll break the ties in your favor, all this stuff, and then like she's apologizing to him, and then like, you know, puts his arm around and like head down and like hugging him, and it's just so phony and it's frustrating.
And she says at one point like, I know you hate me. He's like, I don't hate you, but I'll blame you. And then he basically said like, I won't vote for you in jury. So
I think that's think that's
probably why she stormed out, because she did like, if it's anyone against her in the final two, I think he will not vote for her. So I think she knew that
he won't vote for her. No.
And that was
Ian's like, he likes people who play the game, like, and own their game. So if she's saying she didn't do it and this is a fail on her part, then he's not going to give her a vote for that.
Yeah, he's lost sight of how to be able to do her jury management. Like, he's the beginning of this jury management that's happening right now on this, like, this HOH of hers is just a mess. I'm so happy that she got it, and like her game is completely blown up and ruined, in my opinion, like, than anybody else is really. Like, I'm happy that she has to, because she was just like wanting that power so badly. I'm so glad that it didn't really go at all the way that she wanted it to.
She almost had to nominate 5 people.
Oh my God, imagine if I could have put Christmas on the block as a pawn and then Christmas uses her power.
I was hoping that was going to happen.
Obviously, we were hoping for that to happen.
She was probably scared she would get shot or stabbed. So.
Oh no, she wouldn't, because it's Danny.
I'm using Christmases.
No, I know, but like, Danny's not a black person.
True, but still, she was still scared of Christmas for being a felon.
It's true, though, Phil. It's true.
I'd be scared of a felon. Oh my God.
Did you see her mugshot?
Oh my God, of course.
I just looked it up yesterday.
Their profile picture, like everybody has, like Labor Day. You should put it as your profile picture.
And Jonathan, I know you don't watch the feeds and the video though. It's still down. It's still down. We don't know. But Jonathan, in the feeds, when they were making fun of Ian, this exponentially made me hate Christmas more. She, Memphis says like, oh yeah, I have a feeling like it'd be a nightmare if I like woke up and he was like rocking over me. And she's like, yeah, you'd be his sacrificial lamb.
Oh, I think that was one of the clips that I saw.
Yeah, so I hate her like even more. Like I want Christmas like done. Like bye, goodbye. Never want to see her again. Cancel Christmas. I don't even want to celebrate Christmas ever again. She ruined the damn holiday for me.
Yep, for a lot of
How
people.
did you feel about her in her original season? Like, is it worse for you now, or is it just?
Yeah, it's worse for me. It's worse for me now. I mean, her season, I thought she was trash too, but I just hated her season altogether. Like, season 19 was the fucking worst.
It's funny how they come back, and I feel like they all get worse. Like, as far as like
Memphis?
maybe they're like more comfortable just being in the house and around cameras or whatnot. But I just feel like they really kind of like let loose and you know, are not cognizant of people watching them or not caring. I guess that's weird.
Yeah, but I think Christmas, like, oh god, she just grosses me out. Like, my stomach like churns when I think about her. She's gross. But anyway, continue on.
Well, with Christmas specifically, like I didn't particularly like her in her first season. I would have preferred to see what she could do without having to be wheeling around with a broken foot. I thought it was definitely bizarre that she was able to stay in the game. Like, that's just like, when does that ever happen? And just, you know, on meds and like being part of that big alliance, being actually pretty nasty and mean to some people. Like, she wasn't very nice to Jessica Graff. Like, there's probably other people she had problems with. She was just following Paul. And so I thought that maybe that was just who she was in that particular season. But I'm realizing that this is actually how she thinks the game is supposed to be played. And that's where her personality shines, is in this type of gameplay. I'm not here for it at all.
She's nasty. She's a nasty human. I don't know why they let her back on.
Keep the receipt.
Cody made some good points, though, because like I thought that Cody handling Nicole wanting to keep Ian, he did a very good job about stating the facts and being like, just how he was, you know, saying to Nicole, don't sell yourself short and all this stuff. But I thought that he was really good with handling Nicole. What do you think, Phil? Did you like his handling styles?
How can you tell somebody, basically, she goes, you'd be upset if it was your number one who stayed, and then they go with you and like they vote out their own number one. I don't understand how that makes any sense. Like if they're having this conversation and you're saying Enzo's your number one, it's not me, Enzo's your number one, why are you going along with those two? You should be like trying to mix it up. Like, I mean, she basically has said Enzo and Cody will be final two together if they get their way.
Exactly.
Then I hope she eats it. I hope she eats it hard.
Yeah.
Now her and Danny have the Last Supper and they just eat it all.
The one thing that Memphis said, it was mean, but I actually really liked it. They were sitting outside in the backyard, and I believe it was Cody and Danny, and you know, Nicole was doing her same pitch, like, you know, my number one, we're voting him out, blah, blah, blah. Cody or Tyler's really strong at competitions, like Ian hasn't won anything, all this stuff. And he says, if you want to hang with Ian in jury so badly, we can make that happen. I'm like, and they're like, oh, he's being serious. Oh, like, is he? I was here for that. I was like, and they're laughing about it, but it's kind of true. And it's kind of like she was trying to play hardball with people that had all the power. it was embarrassing, but it was fabulous. It was
that live feeds?
No, that was the episode.
That was today?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I wrote down in all capital letters, and I don't use that often when I'm taking notes. I said, vote for Ian if you're worried about how you look, which is true. She's so good.
Because she was talking to Cody in the key room, and she was like, I don't know. I freaking can't not vote. Like, people are gonna be mad at me if I vote for Ian, and like, it puts me in a bad freaking spot.
You got the voice down.
You said you're no accent, but like, this is a very good impersonation. Like, very good.
Just saying. I kind of blacked out when I did that, but I'm kidding.
Next week you need to like bring like a blonde wig and like some glasses.
I'll get this Loppies box.
Sasha Brazil. I don't know if you've watched any of our challenge recaps, but my friend Fanta, she actually does the Melissa impersonation. So I always get her to do impersonations of like whenever we do a podcast. So this might be your thing. I might be like,
no,
Nicole, please.
Nicole does it way better than me.
But when you're here, we want you. Okay, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, but basically she was just like complaining to Cody again, and you and I both were like, oh God, like I wasn't even like listening to her talk because she was just saying how like it's gonna look bad if she doesn't vote out Ian, it's gonna look bad if she does vote out Ian, and oh like I think she was like kind of alluding to she doesn't want to be the only vote for Ian, and oh she was like talking about how like Tyler's height, I think, like saying that Tyler's a better competitor. She was still trying to campaign for Ian a bit, but yeah, it like I think Tyler was kind of like, if you want to vote for Ian, then vote for Ian. Like who? Like I don't think, and if I mean even if she had, it would have been 4-4. But
well, this is the thing: is that she could have decided to change the course of this game by taking some autonomy and making her decision and maybe redirecting and re-steering how her position in the game instead of only abiding by what the community wants her to do. Like, I get that she's part of an alliance. I get that it's been serving her up until now, but the fact that she is being forced to lose her, number one ally outside of that big alliance, it should have been her being like, okay, I want Ian to stay. How can I make him stay and maybe reshift the dynamics within this alliance or whatnot? Like, she needed to maybe pivot instead of succumbing to being number 6 or number 5 in this big alliance, and maybe jump over to the other side and start working with Day, start working with Kevin, start working with the outsiders, and maybe even I don't know, she could have probably maybe done something instead of being like only being loyal to the committee. I just hate that she's not taking any ownership or her own game. She's just complaining that her alliance doesn't want to do what is best for her game. But like, why would they? It's more beneficial for Ian to leave for more people in your alliance than you, right?
I mean, she's not building a resume, so it's not that part doesn't make me sad.
Sure.
Ian believed that she was with her 100%, so he would have done whatever he could for Nicole. So voting him out is not a smart move for her.
That killed me.
So that's great.
I wanted her to split that vote so badly. I just wanted, Danny to make that decision. Like, I really, really did.
But she was never going to. If Danny was HOH.
I wanted it so badly.
I know, I did too.
Yeah, no, so basically, Jonathan, is that they were assuming that Davon, Kevin, and David were going to be voting out Tyler, and that Nicole Franzel would have been the 4th vote, and then the other side would have been 4 votes, and so it would have been a tie, 4-4, and Danny would have to stand up and break the tie. And she's been saying this whole week that if that were the case, she would vote to keep Ian. So it would have been very satisfying to see her lie to his face,
So if I'm David, if I'm Davon, if I'm Kevin, I'm thinking, what would you guys think?
I'd be thinking like, we're next.
Yeah, and in this vote, I would be saying, who cares? Let's vote out Tyler. Let's see if it will go to a tie, and let's see if we can stir it up. So
Absolutely.
They made the right call, the 3 of them, to vote that way.
I like that they voted together. I'm happy it wasn't just David, or I honestly thought it was gonna be just Kevin voting out Tyler for a minute there, because that would be a Kevin move. But I'm happy they all voted together because I want them. I mean, 3 isn't a bad number to have. Like 3 chances to win HOH, that's better than 2. It's definitely better than 1.
Have the lowest stats.
I understand, but that's the best part of an underdog story. Like, that makes me want to root for them 10 times more. I need to stop. I already cried tonight. I don't want to cry anymore about this damn show.
She did. She was very, very moved by the fact that, spoiler alert, not really spoiler alert, but Ian did not have the votes. Nicole did not vote for him in the end. She cried when she cast it. But it was a 5-3, and Ian was evicted from the Big Brother house, first juror. I thought that Julie was really nice to him. What do you think about their interview? She's been having some weird interviews lately. Maybe because she didn't get to tell him about the committee, so she actually had a normal interview. Like, what do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I mean, because it's jury stage now, so she has to be very careful what she says. There have been a couple seasons where she's let it slip sometimes, some things when they're on the jury, but I'm assuming that that was the reason why she was a little bit nicer to who's in the house.
And Tyler did it for her. Tyler told Ian about the committee, so they were like, okay, producers, make sure someone says the committee. You have to put it out there. We've had it on the screen every time.
Like committee t-shirts and committee mugs, like there's everything. You already have the guy that needs to sell the committee as an alliance.
And you know, Julie was pissed because she wanted to do it, but she wasn't allowed to do it.
Yeah. So
I was very happy with those exit interview or exit messages, because Tyler did take ownership and he said, like, look, I'm part of this alliance called the committee, and they voted to keep me, not they didn't vote you out. You know what I mean? They kind of like owned what was going on. I'm glad that they put his first, because then they had Nicole Franzel kind of say the similar thing, that she had an alliance that he wasn't a part of, that she never told about, and she was sorry about that. I mean,
it's her best friend, though.
I know, but it's the first time I really have seen her own up to some of her shit. I wish if I were her best friend, I would have hoped as fuck that they better have told me that within the game. But she didn't. I'm at least glad that she said something in this exit interview. I know it's just so she can maybe save for a vote in the end, but it's the first time she's ever done anything like that. So I was actually decently happy. What do you think about these exit messages, Phil?
I thought actually one thing that's kind of surprised me was just how open that they were in them, because there wasn't a comeback challenge at the beginning. And so typically when there's not now, then when you get to the jury stage, there might be one. So I was a little bit surprised that they were so free with that information, because I don't know. I'm assuming there's not going to be a comeback challenge, but they wouldn't know that for sure.
It made me respect Tyler more, I think, because of that, like for that reason, like whether or not there's a comeback, he knows he's in jury. Like, I think he respected Ian enough to tell him like exactly what was going on. I just really hope, like Ian, I told Chantele, I just hope he doesn't go back and watch anything from the season, and Chantele thinks he will, but that's the heartbreaking part for me.
Yeah.
People will share something and he'll just start looking. You know, that's how he found out that he was on the spectrum, was that he searched his name in Big Brother, and people had already described him as an autistic house guest, and so he never even really saw himself in that light until that was brought to his attention after his season. And so maybe he's obviously embraced this now and maybe done a little more research and understanding who he is a little bit more. But I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to do a little bit of an investigation just to see, especially if his partner says something or his family, you know, he might want to just go and see for himself what happened. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. So I have a question, Jonathan. You can maybe. No, you won't be able to answer it.
I'm just here for a pretty face. That's
You're
all.
here for the good looks.
Yes, like the lighting is on point today.
Ooh, blue steel.
On fleek. Who is this guy? Smizing. So Phil, one thing that Ian said during his interview with Julie was that the reason why he didn't want to work with Kaser was that he'd overheard Janelle saying that she wanted to put up the two winners, so Nicole and Ian. Do you remember this conversation? Because you do? Okay, can you replay it? What happened?
Yeah, actually, there was quite a number of things that Ian found out while Ian was pretending to sleep, especially around the beginning of the season. He would be in the room going to bed early, and people would come into the room and they would talk, and he would hear things. And Kaser and Janelle would hang out actually in the room that he was sleeping in quite a bit. And there was talk about putting up Nicole and Ian. I think Janelle also did a little bit of bashing of Nicole. And since Ian thought he was with Nicole, that probably was a reason why he didn't want to work with them, I would think.
Now, I was saying this to Brazil that personally, okay, yes, it would suck to hear that. I'd be like, oh, but I would also be like, okay, well, we are the only two winners. And like Janelle does not like Nicole. It's like it makes sense for her to be saying that those are the two people to be putting up. I don't feel as though Janelle was ever going to target Ian. He would only be put up as maybe a casualty of being, you know, a number one and you know, another winner going up. You know what I mean? So how do you? Like, anybody can answer this, obviously. Like, would you be this offended by somebody speculating that another pair might be put up in the house? Bill.
Well, I mean, if the pair that they're going for, I'm one of them, then yes. I mean, so, and in this case, it sort of was like they were saying, well, we'll put Ian up, but I know, like, with the intent for Nicole to go, what I think was what the conversation was. But, you know, I would imagine that at the beginning of the game, both Ian and Nicole knew that they were in trouble. Being the two winners, that there was that chance that they could all band together and go, let's get rid of the winners. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think myself, if I was in this situation and I heard people talking about me and somebody else and they wanted to put us up, I might not want to work with them.
I would think that I would want to get closer to these people.
Yes.
Not put me up. Or
yes.
if we were ever to be put up by anybody else, they would want to keep me instead. So
yes.
it would be like, oh my God. So like people are thinking that me and Nicole are a pair. Like I need to go in and make sure that like my name doesn't come out of their mouth. So yes, if Kaster is asking to make an alliance with me and let's work together, that means that they would want to keep me no matter what, if it was ever the case that Nicole would be around the block. In my opinion, I would see this as knowledge, and I would keep it, I would clock it, but it wouldn't repel me from working with these people. It would actually like propel me to working with them moving forward. So
that's exactly what I was going to say, Chantele.
Say it again. Let me hear it.
No, I'm saying, like, if I heard them talking about that, I would immediately the next morning probably try to get closer to them. Absolutely. I mean, I literally am going to repeat what you just said. Like, that's exactly what I was thinking, and then you said it.
That's okay. You don't have to.
It might be why. Like, we both won. So, no, but I'm just kidding.
Can I just say, like, I love that strategy, like sleeping and getting all the information. That's exactly what I would do.
Note to self. If Jonathan's ever sleeping,
I would be the one late night strategizing that someone overhears.
I'd be in the bathroom like till 4 a.m. Like, come on, let's talk.
Like, I'd have like a bed buddy probably. I'd probably push our beds together so we'd have like a big double in the house, and I'd be having Whisper 2000 talks at like 3 a.m. and not knowing who's actually awake, you know. And I'd probably get caught saying something I shouldn't. Let's do damage control, you know. You're laughing at me, Phil? Why? Because you can picture me doing
Oh, totally picture you doing that. I think I would be the person that would be complaining that there's no alcohol in the house and just trying to get the wine. So
you have to be You'd have to be head of household every other week so you could at least get some booze in your thing. I'd be like,
that's
okay,
right.
Casamigos tequila in every single basket I ever get.
Tequila!
I would totally make it my head of household like a bonding session.
You're like Rachel Riley with how excited she got over her tequila.
Tequila!
Like, okay, so just at the end of the episode, we have Hydrant Hessel. So basically it's like they have to run and get some puzzle pieces and then to make a 3D puzzle of a hydrant. So we kind of see people making some headways in the beginning. Phil, do you have any predictions as to who you think is going to win this one?
Honest predictions.
Honest predictions on who I think will win. If I had to pick, I'm picking Tyler, I think, to win. But I have to first say, like, is this a double eviction challenge? Because this seems like one of these lame challenges. Like, what is this for? Like, it's a puzzle. Like, why is this happening right now? This feels like this should be happening on a double eviction night. This challenge.
Right. Like it's something that's decently quick, but
It seems too easy. Yeah,
well, it's a 3D puzzle, which is a little bit more challenging.
maybe. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't think that they needed to have a cliffhanger. So, Jonathan,
No.
in actuality, we don't know who the head of household is because, okay, like 9:35, I was like, oh my God, like Ian's evicted. There's still 25 minutes left. Like, we're going to be able to see this entire challenge. And then they started the challenge at 8:53. And I was like, there's 7 minutes left. I'm like, okay, I guess it's going to be really quick. And then it's a to be continued till Sunday.
And the feeds are still down. I'm looking right now.
Nobody cares. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like,
See, I always find that fascinating with Big Brother because if you're like having a cliffhanger, people are just going to go online and find out anyway. And the fans are going to watch Sunday's episode anyway. So you don't really need like tune in next kind of a moment because it's going to happen or people are going to go online and find out. So it's just more actually frustrating than anything else with these, you know. I would rather a complete episode and then move on. I'm going to watch all of them anyway.
the only thing I like when they if they're going to do it with the endurance competitions, I do like when they play it out on the live feeds and you can watch the end of the endurance competitions on the live feeds. They did that for the last one last week. I enjoyed that because I did get to watch it play out and I didn't have to wait till Sunday for them to like
endurance is a little bit different, and you can like, you know, you're not going to show on TV, you know, the actual like everything that's happening. So I used to love watching endurance challenges live as well. So that's a little different, but I mean, just overall, I don't think they should have those cliffhangers unless it is an endurance challenge.
But how are they going to get people to come back on Sunday night, Jonathan?
Dang, you know.
You want to see that completed fire hydrant so bad, don't you?
Who did it first?
I guess that's the thing too, is that I enjoy having the most amount of information so I can be strategizing on my own as to what I think would be the best decision for each person playing the game. So me not having any additional information makes me stop thinking about the game. Like, I'm just like, well, I don't really know what really is happening right now. So there's no reason for me to speculate because I don't have all the pieces. And so that's why I'm just like, just tell me what's going on so I can be like, okay, that's a good move. That's a bad move. Like, I don't like speculating without having all the facts. And that's one of the reasons I enjoy the feeds.
Especially when Love Island is on.
What?
Especially when Love Island is on.
I know, right?
Dude, I've never in my life had a show that has made Big Brother take the back seat until this season of Big Brother. I think it's the combination of how the season's going mixed with how great Love Island is right now. But
so good. Are you watching Love Island, Phil?
No.
Phil, you need to watch it.
I'm watching your videos though, so I'm starting to know what's going on.
Wait, Jonathan, you're not up to date necessarily, but you are.
No, I'm up to date on Love Island now. Yeah.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm up to date.
We haven't watched it yet.
No, not tonight.
Tomorrow?
Besides that.
You have a session?
Do you want tomorrow? No, I have a session all day tomorrow.
I can stream you tonight's episode with Chantele.
No, I've taped it, I guess, because it was on already, right?
Maybe you should be facing the video to your TV. That might be better.
It might be.
Anyways, so that's pretty much what happened within these last two episodes.
Oh no, we forgot.
What? Go for it. I don't remember.
Who's moving into the neighbor's house?
Right. We know one thing we forgot beforehand. Sorry, Brazil, who do you think is going to win the fire hydrant hustle?
I said before the comp started, and I'm gonna have to stick with this, even though I saw how the comp was going, and I deterred from there. But I said initially I thought that Cody or Day would win. I said Cody because of the cupcake veto and how well he was able to navigate that puzzle. So I said Cody and Davon because Davon's supposed to be a puzzle queen. After the last shot that they showed, I think Tyler or Memphis, unfortunately.
So you both are saying Tyler, is that what you just said?
Right? Or
Memphis.
Just based on the last shot of said fire hydrants, yeah.
So do you have like a complete prediction, Jonathan? Like, what is your higher?
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I would definitely think that it's going to be a guy. I feel like this is just kind of what the challenge that they had last time is, I thought, was more geared towards a woman winning, and I feel like they kind of mixed it up. And so even though it's a puzzle one, which anyone should be able to win, but
There's back and forth involved though as well.
oh, okay, yeah, so I haven't seen it, but it's, yeah, I just feel like it's probably geared towards a guy, and I would think like a Cody Tyler kind of a situation, yeah, would have a good shot at it.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and just to go for, maybe we'll have an interesting week. Maybe things have changed.
You're gonna say David, huh?
David! I'm gonna hope that David.
Please!
Put it out there.
It's the last person on my team, you guys. 2020. I had Kaser. I had Ian. I had Bailey. I had Nicole Anthony. David is the last person on my team.
I think I have my full team still.
Whatever. I picked with my heart, and I ain't mad at it. I'd pick Ian and Kaser and Bailey all over again. I tried to pick Davon, but Nick took her from me. So,
yeah, I'm sorry that you have the team that you have. I am hoping though that David just pulls out this win. He is a smart guy. We've been seeing that he's been doing a little bit better in challenges. You know, I mean, he's a smart guy. I think. I don't know.
Please be David. I never in a million years thought we'd be at this point in Big Brother, past jury, and I'd be rooting for David. Never. But it's 2020, so anything can happen.
But like, okay, so if David were the head of household, I think that you might put up Danny and Memphis.
Oh, he'd 100% put up Memphis. And I agree, Danny. Danny put him up. It's a perfect excuse.
But would he want Memphis gone?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not best to put Danny up, because I think she has a better shot at going home. So
no, Memphis would go over Danny. Yeah.
That's
good. Do you guys think that? Chantele and Phil?
Memphis would go over Danny because Cody and Nicole are team Danny, and they'll push it. They'll make sure.
Okay.
Enzo also, I think, would keep Danny because Danny could have put him up very easily and did not.
And
I do want Memphis gone. So
they also were saying that they feel as though America might think that Memphis was a bit problematic, and so they might think that they could get some favor back with America.
The irony is they're all problematic.
Yeah. So someone toxic, they might be like, go Team Danny or whatever. So that's my hopeful thought. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if Cody, Tyler or Cody. That's their duo name is Cody.
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 Surprised. Cody having another win right now kind of makes sense. He's kind of due for one, So I can see him doing it. These guys are a lot better under pressure, I find, than the women are. And
I have one more question.
Because
I thought of this like the last couple seconds of the episode. Chantele and I talked about it during. I said, well, Danny's going to use her power, duh. And I think the reason why I said that is because she nominated 4 people. So I don't know if I was in her position that I wouldn't use that power.
So I would say that the reason why I don't think that she would use it is because she nominated 4 people. And so, she's been lying to them saying that she doesn't have this power. And if she played but then didn't win, it just might make her look like more of a target. And I was thinking that it might benefit her more if, say, Cody won this one or Tyler won this one, because I don't think she was planning on winning this HOH anyways, because she has so much butter in her hands. She probably is like, okay, let me deflect all this target off of me. And so if Cody won, Danielle, any of her committee alliance won, she can allow them to play in another week's HOH. Yeah. So I think that would be more beneficial for her.
I think that's a smarter move.
It just shows how comfortable she is then.
I think that
she's sitting pretty.
I think her playing 2 times in a row would tank her game completely with everything that's gone on. So I think what Chantele's saying is right. I think I would definitely kind of give that to allowing Cody or something to play 2 times in a row. So
I guess you just play paranoid. I don't know, like when would I have to say it? Right before, when I already saw what was happening, and or not what I already saw, but if I saw that it was a puzzle.
after this mess of an HOH that she had, I don't think she was ever planning on winning another HOH back to back and having. Like, what if she has the same situation? Like, maybe she's gonna put Christmas up as a pawn or something, and then that blocker happened. Like, it's just, I think she was too scared of maybe having to make more enemies so quickly without repairing any of these relationships that she had no desire to win another head of household back to back. And the odds are in her favor that someone from the committee is going to be winning. It's 5 against 3, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope she goes home because of that exact reason.
6 against 3, because it's like Tyler might win it though. So yeah, Tyler.
I hope she goes home with that power in her pocket.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Okay, so go back to what you were going to say before about like the little lead maggot, the little teaser about the Jerry house, the new neighbor.
They alluded to a separate part of the house, and it looked like just like a little section, like a condo next to the BB house, and they said, which BB legend is going to occupy the neighbor's house? I am praying to whatever God is out there that it's Ian and that there's a jury battle back.
Okay, Phil, what do you think about this? What were your thoughts and ideas?
So I actually had 3 maybes that came up. So one was the jury house. I thought that maybe there's something going on and Ian's going in there. I was praying for myself that Rachel Riley got like a 1 week like in there, and that would be just fun, just for fun. But I actually the thing that I think it might be is I think it's actually going to be Zingbot.
That's my thought. I think it's Zingbot as well.
That is such a fucking waste of an alluding twist. I'm sorry.
Look at Brazil's face when he said that.
Well,
he was so pissed that it's Zingbot. Like,
I love Zingbot. Zingbot's my favorite episode of the entire season.
But it's like a hype up and then a let down.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
Which is all the twists in Big Brother. Like every time a twist happens in Big Brother, you go, ugh, after it happens.
Touche. Oh my God, this game, like, I'm in an abusive relationship with Big Brother.
The only reason why I think it might not be Zingbot is that they want to announce it on the Thursday. And so I'm trying to figure out how that would work.
Jury battle back.
So that would make me believe that maybe it is a jury battle back, that they're going to be like, and Ian is still here and he's able to maybe watch stuff or whatever. So I can see it being that as well. Just because the day that it's being released is a Thursday, and it would just make sense for them to tell the evicted nominee that you're actually not going home, you're going to the neighbor's house. So
please give Ian another chance. Please.
Why do you want to get hurt again?
I just want that sweet revenge.
I know, but I don't know if Ian will be able to do any damage if he came back. I don't think anybody will unless they're part of unless it's like Tyler.
I just need more Ian on the screen, I can't. Like, Davon's literally the only person, and Davon and David. That's who I'm putting all of my eggs into their basket.
I'm still going to root for Enzo because I have the most stocks in Enzo right now on Reality Stock Watch. And so
did you have stock in Ian too?
I sold all my Ian stocks.
Oh, you did? Oh my God.
I put them into Davon because they're the only ones that I could buy at the price. And so I have like 25 Davon stocks right now that I'm like,
that's smart.
Her freaking win out of household because I'm just losing money. I just need one of these low stocks to hit. And like, then maybe I can start making back some money and then I can buy. Because right now, Enzo stocks are like $25 each and they start off at $5. So I can't buy Enzo stock with getting higher in the rankings. I have to. Hello, Rylan.
Sorry, I see a dog and I'm like, Rylan.
This dog ever. Can you go to the game and take care of him?
Rylan.
No, he needs to go in the shadow. He goes everywhere with me.
Thank you. Anyway,
oh my God, he's so cute. I'm obsessed.
Do we have anything else to say about this episode? About Zingbot? About the neighbor's house?
Damn you, Phil. Just kidding.
Don't blame me.
I mean,
It's a smart take though. Like you're probably right. Knowing this season, you're probably right.
also though, I know that Ian's a winner, but is he considered a BB legend?
Yeah, she called him and Tyler BB Titans taking each other on.
Are you gone? Oh, I thought you left. I thought you were like, bye.
Yeah, he was like, bye. Yeah, no, Julie called him a legend and a Titan, so absolutely.
I
Jonathan,
think he has to be a legend. He took Dan out 6-1. Like
6-1.
Yeah.
I don't consider him a legend. No, sorry.
I don't either. I mean, I like Ian, but I don't consider him a legend, and I don't think his performance this season is legendary status. To be fair,
No,
not at all.
And
I
so,
agree with you.
and so with that though, I feel his performance in this season makes me less appreciative of his previous win. I feel that because Dan thought that he would be able to beat him, he brought him along, and he did win a bunch of comps near the end. But I'm realizing now that I don't think he's actually a strategic mastermind, really, and I don't think he actually makes the shots or like knows how to position himself well to do well in the game. And so I personally think that he went down in his status of BB legendary for the season. So that's why I don't think it would be him in the house. I don't think of him as a legend.
I mean, it's
I
it's
agree
hard
with
to
you
follow.
on that, Chantele.
Pardon me?
Yeah. We both agree with you.
Yeah.
But it's hard to follow. Like you can't follow your winning season. Like look at Nicole. Do you consider her a legend?
No.
Never did.
How
Okay.
dare you?
No, I don't either. But I'm just saying, like she won.
And now I'm like, oh, so this is actually your game. Okay, I get it, and I don't like it. I definitely don't like people crying over the moves that they're making and allowing emotional manipulation to like get me further. I don't mind people using relationships, we'll say, like to get further in the game. I don't mind that, but I don't like people crying about it or crying about the fact that
Own it.
that's distracting. Exactly. So
correct me if I'm wrong, though. I think the only person correct me if I'm wrong. I think the only person that's playing a better game than they initially played is Davon.
I was gonna say David.
Wow.
And David. See, I forgot about David. I even forgot about him. But
he's not playing Big Brother.
No, he doesn't even know what Big Brother is.
I can fake cry on command and lie to all these people about this one stupid thing.
But Davon is playing a better game. She lasted longer. And
she improved in her standings, absolutely. I wish that she was making some better decisions, but like along the way. But she has improved, I would say, since her previous game. But she could have done better, I think, if she had improved more.
Yep.
I think that she made some bad decisions early on.
I agree. She should have stuck with Kaser instead of.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So let's just lastly speculate on who would be considered legendary status. So Zingbot, that's legendary status. Like I think of Big Brother, I think of Zingbot. Like I love the Zingbot family. Like I want to know what's going on with Zingbot and COVID. Like how are they coping? Like is he going to be wearing a mask? Like I need to know all these things. I can see Rachel Riley being in there. I could see even Brittany Haynes being in there. She would be considered legendary status, just like with her diary rooms. People really like them. And she's quite likable. Dan could be. Derek. I'm not really a big fan of Derek, but you know him. Will could be considered legendary.
Please.
Even
not Ian. If not Ian, Will.
Oh God! Imagine it was Evil Dick.
And like, dude, no, he would already be in quarantine. He's still tweeting his life away.
True, but maybe he has those tweets going in Hootsuite, and he just has them lined up and ready to go.
Potentially.
Any other legends that you could potentially see in that neighbor spot?
Danielle Murphy.
She's a legend.
Danielle Murphy.
Oh no, not Danielle Murphy. I'm sorry, not Murphy.
Reyes.
Yes. She's not a legend. We're not even allowed to talk about Danielle Murphy.
No,
you're not allowed to say anything about her.
I never spoke her name.
What happened on the live feeds, Jonathan, is that they were both Janie and Ian were kind of bashing Danielle Murphy, just saying that she was maybe a little bit of mentally unstable, and they're just kind of actually just maybe speaking some truths. But I guess, Danielle Murphy saw this and complained to CBS, and so they told her that they can't actually talk about her anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we never talked about her.
Exactly. Love Day. Yes, we do love Day. Of course we do. Own your game. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, own her game.
Shout out Daryl.
David and Davon are the only two people that have improved their standing. It is true. Hopscotch. There's hopscotch. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Paul? I'm gonna take a Paul right now. I want Paul.
I'll take it. At this point, I'll take it.
Can't get any worse.
Look at Phil's face.
That would make it worse.
Honestly, I'd rather Paul would win over 90% of people in there.
Daryl, thanks for chilling with us. We love chatting with people that are in our chat box whenever we go live. So it's awesome for you to engage with us. We love doing it.
You said
Tyler and David. Oh, it's playing hopscotch instead of chess. Right.
whatever. David's hopscotching his way to the final two, and I'm okay with it.
I mean, maybe that's what he was playing when he was asking people if they nominated him. Some new version of hopscotch. We don't know.
Do it, Jonathan. Do it.
Was it you? You saved me?
Oh my god. Yes, my pleasure, says Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. It's so funny. I mean, we're ending on a great note. So do any of you guys have anything going on? Phil, do you want to plug anything that's happening in your life or some social media stuff?
I got nothing for tonight. Sorry. Sunday I had too much.
No, you can have as much as you want.
Oh my god, how did your smile day go? Or sorry.
Oh, it's still going. I'll plug Smile Cookie. It's still going until Sunday.
Go to Tom Hortons. What's
Tim Hortons.
Tim
Hortons.
Go to Tomothy Hortons.
I'm trying.
I bought a Smile Cookie today, Phil, because I was thinking about you. So
thank you.
Go to Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Oh my god! It is a thing.
It's real.
I mean, the one thing about Tim Hortons that is my favorite is roll up the rim to win. Nothing gets more fun about I usually get a tea from Tim Hortons, and you roll up the rim to win. And so you can either win, obviously the easy prizes are going to be like a coffee or a muffin or whatever. This is a regular cup.
Go like this.
And
then it will say, please play again, because you'll never get anything. But
so like twice a year, I believe that they have roll up the rims to win. And so like that's my favorite time with like I go to Tim Hortons at least every day because I want to win that car. Or
I need to go.
I mean, it's not great. Like the coffee's okay, but it's just a coffee shop that's just everywhere and consistent.
I get peppermint tea, and I love it. It's my favorite to get.
I love peppermint tea.
I do get peppermint tea as well there, Jonathan.
It's good for your stomach.
When COVID's done, Brazil, we're taking you.
Yes, when you guys will let me into Canada again. Because as of right now, I'm exiled from Canada.
Kinda. I'm in Vancouver. You can like drive up or something. It's only probably like 18 hours.
Yeah, I'll go home to SF and then I'll just drive. My friends actually did that. They drove through Oregon and Washington, and they stopped along the way, like all the way through Vancouver and then back down. And they said it was like their favorite trip ever. So
I mean, I actually would like to do that trip. Like I think I've been to Seattle, but I wouldn't mind going into Seattle, see what's going on there. I've never been to Oregon or Portland, and like everybody talks about.
You've never been to Portland?
I've never been. No.
Portland is like a mix of Lake Tahoe and San Francisco, like all mixed together. It's the most amazing city.
So yeah, maybe next time I visit Vancouver, we can maybe meet in the middle or something. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that side of the state.
Dude, the Pacific Northwest is the best in all of America. I'm convinced. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Reality Realness road trip. Right there.
Road rules,
see it.
reality realness.
Oh my god, what if we did competitions along the way or something? Or like we made it like a scavenger hunt. So like we got like everybody to be like places to see, like to go on this trip, whatever. We had to like get like landmarks and photos and I don't know what stuff are under these places.
And find the first Tom Hortons.
In every border.
It's out there.
No, I said the first Tom Hortons.
I know, I got it.
Oh, sorry.
I just
I'm the worst.
laugh. Just
I'm literally the worst.
But Phil, you're actually kind of onto something though. So a road rules reality realness road trip.
Road trip.
Done.
We're gonna plan this out.
I think that we should get an RV.
You guys can come back and forth. I'll just go all the way up to Washington, like the border, and then I'll dip out then.
Okay. Actually, we can talk about this offline. I think it's something that we could do. Phil, if you want to find you online, do you have anywhere they could go?
Did you say Brazil or Phil?
Brazil.
Oh, at Baby Zill on Instagram and at Zilda Brocco on Twitter.
And Jonathan.
Oliveira Casting on Twitter or Jonathan Oliveira 1983 on Instagram.
That's true. You're correct. And you're going to find me at Fran or at Reality Realness with 3 S's on Instagram. You can pretty much find me from there. You can find me everywhere else. But I hope that everybody's on board for our campaign to 1,000 subscribers, because I'm promising everybody that when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to start asking maybe some of these reality TV stars whether or not they would want to come on and have a little bit of an interview. So I feel that 1,000 subscribers just gives me enough of an audience that maybe they would be interested in speaking with us. And so if you want to talk to some of your favorite stars, I don't mind reaching out. I just feel like with 1,000 subscribers or more, people are be more likely to say yes, so that there's like an audience that will be, supporting them. And if they have a cause or stuff like that, people will be getting some eyeballs on them. So please help us by subscribing right down below. Hit that like button if you like this. You get some engagement. It's really great for us to be popping up on the top of any search engine or search list. And then please ring that bell. So when you ring it, you'll be notified every time we go live like this. Look, I don't even know how we got like an hour and 55 minutes like out of this 2 episodes, but we did it for you guys. So you'll be notified every time we go live or we have a new episode. Any final thoughts, anybody?
Team Day.
Team Day. Team David.
Team Day, always.